Hello friends, today in this tutorial I will be showing you a new library of Node.js which basically allows you to perform a lot of operations inside your Excel files. From the title itself, basically you will be able to write, read data inside your Excel file. You will be able to add encryption inside your Excel files as well using password. You can password protect your files. The name of the library is xls-populate. This is basically the Node.js package guides. It's a very popular package of Node.js in order to work with Excel files. The very first link which appears here, this is basically the package here. It is almost having 48,000 weekly downloads at the time of recording this live stream. You can basically perform a lot of tasks here. You will see in the documentation, you can basically populate data, parse data. You can even create ranges as well, define names, find and replace. You can even style your Excel style sheet by changing the background color, bolding them, underlining them. You can also insert hyperlinks, date, data validation, print options, all that stuff you can add, encryption also. So we will be covering all these operations in detail in this live stream, guys. I have written a complete blog post on my tutorial website. So the link is given in the description of the video. So if you want to get all the source code that I will be using in this live stream, you can go to the description of this live stream. So now let's get started by building this, looking at its library, guys. So first of all, you need to create your project. Let me delete all the files here and start from scratch. So let me just close this project and start from scratch. So here basically, guys, what I will do is that I will go to the projects directory, and here we will basically make a new directory. Let's suppose Excel, and we will cd into this, and basically, guys, here we will open inside our Node.js. We will initialize the Node.js project by using npm init-y. So this will create the package.json file, guys, for us. Now we need to install this package, guys, which is xlsx-populate. This is basically the package name, guys. So just make sure that you write the correct spelling here. So now this will install this package, and now in order to make index.js, we will basically make this file. And now the very first example that I will show you guys how to basically create a brand new Excel file using this package here. So right here at the very top, we will require this package. So we will simply say xls-populate, and basically we just need to require this package, which is xls-populate. And then this module contains basically a method, guys, which is called as from blank asynchronous. So this contains 4 methods here. You will see that, guys, from blank, from data, or from file. So from blank, basically we are assuming that we are creating the Excel sheet from blank slate. So here inside this method, it returns a callback function. So we can handle this using dot then. So it returns the workbook, guys. You can call this as anything. So basically it is an Excel workbook. So inside the callback function here, what we can do is that we can basically get the active sheet here. We can call this sheet anything. Let's suppose I call this as information or info, like this. And then we can create a cell here inside the sheet. Let me call this A1. And then we can insert the value like this. Let's suppose name. And now to basically, we have specifically at this cell location, which is A1, we have inserted this name value in this current sheet. So now we can basically save this Excel sheet by using the method on workbook object. It contains this method, which is toFile asynchronous, and here basically we can provide the resulted file name, which is result.xls. This is the extension of the Excel file. And now if I run this Node.js script, guys, so you will see basically if I run this node index.js, so it is saying that cannot read properties of undefined. Let me see, workbook sheet info. Let me just copy this line. Sometimes it can Let me paste it. Sorry, that I think I put sheet 1 here. So we put the sheet 1 name here. So let me just again refresh this. So now you can see that, guys, the program run and you can see result.xls, and you will see sheet 1 is created here. Basically you can see sheet 1, and in this record you can see A1, the location that we mentioned here. If I change this location, let's suppose I change this to C1, so what it will do, guys, it will change the location here. And basically if I once again see, now this will be C1. So C1 here, you will see that you can also change the record as well like this. So as you all know that in Excel files we have certain coordinates. This is A1, this is B1, this is C1. So you need to basically look at the coordinates as well. So this is all like this. So we can again change this to A1. So now if you open this once again, you will see A1. So now we can construct basically 3 columns, which will be, I can simply copy this. Basically I can rename this to at cell B1, and this I can say age, and this I will C1, and this will be country. So we have 3 columns in the Excel sheet, and again we can repeat this 2, 3, 4, 5. So now what we can do, basically we can say here A2, and then we can simply say here John, we can put a name. This can be B2. Age we can say then C2, this can be, and then we can say A3, this can be Steve, this can be B3, and this can be C3. So these are the coordinates, guys, you will see that. And now if I run this Excel file once again, so it will get created. Let me open now. You will see basically we have 3 columns, name, age, country, and we have two rows of data, which is, you can see John 49. You will see that. So now the Excel sheet has been created, and basically if you want to change the sheet number, let's suppose I want to change the sheet number, we can even change the sheet number. I will show you later on how to do that. And let's suppose we have now created this result.xls file here. So now how to read this data? So how to read this data, we have a different approach. We have a function here inside this module which is called as from file, and now we are using this method, the third method, and here we need to provide the path of the Excel file which has created. So we will provide the path here like this, and again this returns a callback function. This will return the workbook for us, and now we can basically read the data inside the Excel book. We can get the value at a certain location. We can provide the sheet number here. So this can be, you need to give the sheet number, so sheet 1, and here we will put the cell location. So we need to get the cell value at this current location. We will put here value like this. Value is also a function. So now we can console log it basically. So if you see, guys, basically it will go to this file. It will basically look at this sheet here, sheet 1 we have provided, and it will go to this cell number which is A1. A1 is name here, and it will get the value and it will console log it. And now if I basically run this application, you will see that name will be printed out. And similarly you can change this location to, let's suppose, A2. So now in this case John will be printed out because A2 value is John. You will see that. So in this way, guys, one at a time, basically you can read the location. We can read the values which are present inside the Excel file. And now we will basically look at, guys, how we can multiple at one time. We don't need to follow this syntax. We need to repeat this process. How we can increase this process by using ranges. Ranges are nothing but guys, basically we provide we can insert data at a faster pace. We can pass basically a 2D array. So how we can do that? So we can simply say here, again we will basically create a new file which is from blank asynchronous. This will again return a callback workbook object for us. And inside this, guys, what we can say is that instead of now we will put the sheet number here. Let's suppose we say here we can call this sheet as info, and then we will provide the cell number. So where to start? So we need to start from this location, which is A1. Probably in normal Excel sheet, this location is the top left location, A1. We need to start from here, and then we need to provide a 2D array. So inside this value, we can basically provide not a single value, but a array here. So we can pass a array of values, 2D array. So we can say here 1, 2, 3. This can even be string values as well. So here we can say name, age, country. So you can have floating point values as well. So this can be floating point numbers as well. So this is a value, and now we can save this. So we can say to file, and we can say here range xls. So now if you run this file, guys, it will automatically work. It is saying that cannot read properties of undefined reading cell. I think the sheet number, this needs to be 0. Now it will work. You will see the file is created, range.xls, and now you can see that A1 from A1 location, 1, 2, 3, name, age, country. So this is, I think it's a easier approach. We don't need to repeatedly write the lines for that. We can instead pass a 2D array here. So we are passing the values here inside an array. So this is basically an easier approach. You can use this. And similarly, guys, how we can get these values, it's very easy. If you want to read the data, let's suppose that it has created, we can pass the file name, let's suppose range.xls. So now if you want to read these values, so how we can do that? So we can call this workbook, and we can pass the sheet number. So inside this, let's suppose we want to read this data, which is present inside result.xls. So we need to read this data inside the form of an array, 2D array. So what we can say is that we need to provide the sheet number, which is sheet1, and then we will simply call a function which is used range. This is a function which is called, guys, if you want to read all the values which are present inside the Excel files, and then value. And now if you console log it, so now if you see, guys, inside your console, if you run this application, the data will be read here inside an array. You will see 1, 2, 3. I want to change this, sorry, result.xls. So you will see name, age, country, John 45, news, you can see Steve 56, Australia. So basically this is a method which is used. This is ranges. So we are basically initialized a range. Range is nothing but we are telling the module to get to read all the values starting from A1. So default location is A1. So if you want to provide a specific location here, let's suppose you can also provide that location, and it will read all the values. So this makes it easier in order to write and read values. And now, guys, we will look at how basically we can change this number which is present right here, sheet1. How we can delete them, add them, rename them, all this location we can do that. So let's suppose we are working at a particular file here, Excel file, result.xls. Now let's suppose we need to add one other sheet number. So how we can do that? So we can easily do this by, first of all, we can get the current sheet by using this syntax, which is workbook sheet 0. So this will basically get the current sheet where we are working on. So if you do this, you will basically return an object here which contains this information about this. So this is basically the sheet here which we are working on. I think we can also get its value as well by using the value method. And also what we can do is that basically If you want to get the sheet by the name, we can even call this using workbook sheet, and here we can provide the sheet name. So sheet 1 here. If you console log this also, this will also return an object. And now let's suppose if you want to basically print out how many sheets are present, we can call the sheets method here. So this will basically list out how many sheets are present. So only a single sheet is present right here, so inside this file. So now we will be looking at how basically we can add a brand new sheet. So for this we will say that new sheet. So now to add a new sheet here, guys, we can call workbook add sheet method. So this will add a new sheet. So let's suppose I say info, and then we can simply save this file, which is workbook to file, and we will say new.xls. So now basically if you see, a new file will be created, and now it will contain two sheets here. So this is a first sheet, this is a second sheet. So this second sheet is empty here. You can see two sheets are there. You can basically even open this inside your Microsoft Excel as well. If I open this, you can see it contains two sheets, sheet 1, and this is info, which is sheet 2. So now you can see that how we can create multiple sheets here. And now it contains a lot of methods, guys. I cannot cover all the methods in this single live stream, but still I would like to cover all those. And let's suppose if you want to add a sheet number based upon a in this easy way you can do this. And also let's suppose if you want to rename this sheet number, if you want to change the sheet number which is there, sheet 1, we can easily do this using this syntax, which is sheet, and here we can pass the 0th place here. This will correspond to the first sheet which is present, sheet 1. So here we can say name, and here we can change the sheet number. Let's suppose custom users. So now if you reload this application, it is saying that, sorry, we need to basically close this file first of all. So now if you see, open this file once again, just close it. So now you can see that, guys, the sheet number was renamed here, custom users. So now you can see the sheet was renamed. We can open this inside our Excel as well, just for the clarity. So you will see the sheet is renamed to custom users. So in this way, guys, you can even rename your sheet number as well. So let's suppose, so like this, using this syntax. And let's suppose we want to remove the sheet number. You can even move your sheet number as well. Let's suppose using this syntax, if you want to move the sheet to a location, you can use this syntax, which is move sheet method. And lastly, what I will be showing you here, how to delete a sheet number. So this is really simple. We have the delete sheet number here. So we can simply delete this sheet. We can say custom users. We can provide the name here. And again, if I save this, so we will say, sorry, this sheet may not be deleted as a workbook, must contain at least, so okay, we need to create one other sheet here. So what we can say is that here, how to add a sheet. So we can create a new sheet here, which is sheet 2. So we can say workbook.add sheet, and here we can say sheet 2. So now we have created sheet 2 here. So now we have two sheets. So we can now delete this sheet. So if you now open the new sheet, guys, you will see only sheet 2 available. That custom user sheet is gone. It is deleted. You will see that only one sheet is available, which is sheet 2. So in this way, guys, you can basically manage your sheets inside your Excel file. You can add them, remove them, move them, rename them, all those operations you can perform. Now we will move to the next part, guys, where basically how you can style those. So styling is very much important. If you don't want to do it manually using Microsoft Excel, you can programmatically do it. Let's suppose we load the file here which we need to style. Let's suppose we do need to style this one, which is result.xls. So how we can do that? We will first of all put the file name which we need to load. This will basically return the callback function. So here, guys, we will first of all style multiple elements. So for that we will create a range here using this. We will provide the sheet number, which is sheet1. We will provide this used range method once again. So this will create a range of values. So we can even print out this range as well. So this will cover multiple values. It is basically, you will see, it is covering multiple values, 3 rows, 3 columns. Now we need to style those. So how we can do this? It contains a method, guys, which is style, and basically it takes an object if you want to cover multiple styles. So we need to bold them. So if you just set this property to true, guys, so what it will do, let me say here, workbook, let me save this file, file to file, and I will call this as style.xls. So if I now run this application, so it will save this, it will create a new one which is style.xls. You will see the values are bolded. You will see name, age, country. This was the original and this is a styled one, name, age, country. And one of the style is there, guys. If you want to also italic, we have the italic style as well. So this is an array. So here we can say true, false. This will be conditionally be having these values. So I think true, false, false, true. So again, if you refresh this, just open this style.xls. So you can see some values are italic, some are not. You will see name is italic here. And let's suppose, guys, if you want to underline them as well, these are the basic styles which are used. If you want to underline some things here, we can basically use this condition here, which is underline. So we are using the random module, and in order to randomly pick the elements to underline. So if you refresh this, so it is, you can also see these elements are also underlined. So we can even open this inside Microsoft Excel, guys. If I open this Microsoft Excel, so you can see Excel elements are also underlined as well. You will see. And now I will be showing you guys how to change the background color. This is really important if you want to style them. So there is basically a fill property here, fill property, and basically it's an object. And here we can provide a type property which is pattern. And here we can provide the pattern. This can be a color which is dark down. And this also provide a foreground object. Here we can pass the hexadecimal color RGB value. So FF0000, this is a color. And similarly we have the background property, and this will be theme. It takes a theme object and a tint. All these properties you can customize it by reading the documentation and also going to the description of the video. This is basically it. And now if I refresh this, it is saying, let me just, and for this I need to open this inside Microsoft Excel because it will not show color here. So you will see, guys, the background color has been changed here. You will see that it is changed to a different color. You can customize this color by changing this hexadecimal values. So inside this you can change it to any color of your choice. Let's suppose if you change it to 000, this will be a black color, I think. So if you change it to this one, yeah, you can see gray color is there. So theme is tinted. So the last operation that I will show you guys, how basically you can even add hyperlinks as well here by reading the documentation. There is basically hyperlink method is also available. And lastly guys, how to encrypt this using a password. This is basically very much needed. If you want to have a very secret file that you have, you can even embed a password as well. So inside this method, it takes an object which is basically password. So here you can provide a password here. So let's suppose I provide the password as 123456. So now this Excel file will be protected. Nobody can see it without your consent. So now if I run this application, so now this file which is style.xls, if I just see, it is not opening here because password is required. If I open this inside Microsoft Excel, you will see style XLS is protected. Please provide a password. If I provide a wrong password, I can't open this file. Password you supplied is not correct. This is a really good feature about this library guys. You can encrypt Excel files using password. If you enter a correct password, then your Excel file will open. So if you have a very secret file that you want to send to other people, you can basically encrypt your Excel files using this module. This is a really good module. So thank you very much guys for watching this live stream. Please hit that like button, subscribe the channel, and I will be seeing you in the next live stream.